improve services and stopping any of these emails that keep on coming.
Is there anything that we or the employees are going to have to do about
Well,
it?
I
It's
hope
all behind
not.
the scene?
I
Okay.
hope you should just see less
Okay.
stuff and we would just stop
Okay.
more of it.
More junk.
Less junk.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Once you said it was paid for by the grant, we were done. We were like, okay, good. Okay, the next one's appointing Mary Ferrara. So, you know, Barbara in our department, my old department, in the town attorney's office, retired. So Mary is moving up to her spot, and then we're not replacing that position, but bringing in part-time. We're bringing in Barbara part-time until, you know, not going to refill that position. Esther, you should sit right here, right in the front. Okay. We're appointing Elizabeth Brancotti as one of the deputy town attorneys, so we're replacing two, and Elizabeth's here. I don't know if we can say something during the public session, but the approval of the certificates of sewer registrations. Want to do it now? Yeah, when she gets entered, right. Okay, this is from Highway Department. It's approve an RFP for sidewalks, soil cutting. Number 8 is a bit of a bummer. This is rejecting the bid for Middletown Road. So we only got one bid, and it was much higher than expected, and I met with Jimmy, so this is basically rejecting it, and we're going to go out to a bid again, right, Jim? Yeah.
Can I have Jim come up?
Sure, please.
With rejecting this bid, has this put the project behind schedule?
No, not necessarily,
Well, it depends what the
because we're
schedule-
trying to get right back out again. What we had hoped that we would be awarding the bid now. If we put this back out again within another 3 to 4 weeks, hopefully we should attract more bidders. We're really not sure what happened. A number of companies picked up the bids, but did not submit bids. We thought this was going to be a really good timing. But we're in a $2 million category for this project, and this bid was $4.9 million. So it's like somebody just threw a number at us, maybe knowing other people didn't do it. But the process here is this is a DOT bid. DOT is managing it. It's coming from the New York State Assembly with some federal funds in it, I believe. They would never allow us to accept one bid. We went through this before with downtown Pearl River on a $250,000 bid. So we've got to get back out there. We've been beating the bushes, trying to make sure that we get more people in on this. Not sure why it didn't happen.
What are your anticipated dates at this time?
The process we were doing was to start right after the St. Patrick's Day Parade.
Okay.
So this probably puts us back 4 weeks,
And
if we can keep moving this along.
how long is the whole project?
We're looking at probably 5 months, 4 to 5 months. So once they get out there and get moving, it shouldn't really be an extended project.
No, it's good that you've initiated this with the county and the state, because Middletown Road has had a number of fatalities, and it's important to make it safer, so hopefully your schedule is correct.
Jim,
Thanks.
can you stay there
Thanks,
for a
Jim.
sec for the next two items?
Yes.
Okay, so the next one is the 2018, 2019 municipal snow and ice agreement.
Yes. We enter that in with the state each year. We do Route 303, 9W, 340, and 304, and the state pays us to do that. So it's a time and material, used to be time and material. Now we do it on a flat rate per year. We do well on it. We have never lost money on it. And a couple of years where we went over the anticipated number of plowings. The state has a process they call J-miles, and when they see that they're going over, they also put it over for the contractors. So we're considered a contractor just for snow and ice control on state routes. We do not do the parkway.
I can tell. Okay, so now the next one, number 10, is the MEO positions, and I've had some conversation since it was originally discussed. There's some concern being raised that we're going to get a lot of PO 27s because there's others in the town using heavy equipment.
Well, I don't think that other departments have the equipment that's been included in this MEO 3.
Okay, that's
All
one
right.
of the questions
There's
I have.
specialized equipment, the boom that we use for picking up brush works under wires around people. It's a loader. It takes a higher level of skill. We're the only ones in the town that have that.
So that's, I
That's
guess
one of
my
the
question,
specialized.
my question is, so the specific equipment is identified in this new job description?
Yes. And it had to be approved by Rockland County personnel. So it's broader based than not just running a bucket loader. That would not qualify you for that. Or a small backhoe would not qualify you for that. There are other categories. We're working now with the union, setting up a testing program. First, there's a criteria for experience, which has been approved by Rockland County personnel. Then in agreement with our union, there's going to be a practical exam for whether or not you can actually run this type of equipment. And there's a time frame that you have to show experience in it to be able to get to the point to take a test.
Okay, I mean, I was very involved, as you know, and I was very
Yes.
much in favor of how it was handled, but I just know there's been some expression that we may get hit with a PO 27s, and I did not look at the new job description to know if it was specific enough that we're okay.
Yeah, I think it's very specific
Okay.
for heavy equipment.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm good. We have, the next one is appointing a police officer probationary. My understanding is she's in the academy right now, going to be graduating. And then we have 2 bids, one for furnishing of uniforms. They kind of jump in between. We have one for cleaning, and then we have the resignation of Sergeant Kurt Vega. Then we have a police officer attending the hostage negotiation seminar. Then the next is the bid for the dry cleaning. And then the last one, which I'm told is free, is for use of the police firing range. 17, we have the OMM. This is basically where they are identifying the improvements that they made, and we're accepting them. So they're just itemizing what the value of it is. The next one is, 18 is for Jane Slavin to go to stormwater management training in Middletown, exciting Middletown, New York. And then 19 is appointing you, Davies. We had Robin retired, and so Jim Davies is being appointed into her position. Okay. That's it. I don't know if anybody has any other memory adjournments, but, okay, so, I guess, can we have a motion to open the public comment?
Moved.
Okay, we have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Okay, we have Esther Baitler. Okay, Esther, you're gonna be my,
Number 1.
you're gonna be my test case. I think I just hit enter, but we'll see. Or not.
Good evening, Supervisor Kenny and town board members. Hi, my name is Esther Ann Baitler, and I'm a very, very unique consumer who lives in Fork Hill.
I don't know how to start.
Tonight, I want to congratulate Teresa Kenny on becoming our town supervisor. I know she'll do a fabulous job
Yes.
because throughout the years, I've trained her and her brother, Mike Kareem, at Mentor Academy. I also want to say, Teresa, welcome aboard.
Thank you, Esther.
We're lucky to have you. Because Teresa is very paraprofessional, and she's been with Orangetown for 24 years. I really think that it's time we had a woman here who could keep you guys in line at all given time. I also want to say thank you, Teresa, for being at the Venture anniversary party on Sunday. I'd like to know where the board was. Teresa
It
was
was my
the
pleasure.
only one.
Skiing.
There is an outstanding policy that when there's a Venture event, even if you're on the board, you need to be there. We're having another one on April 25th, 2 to 5 at Venture World. $50 a person with a senior discount. That means you, Dennis.
I get a discount, that's it.
Again, congratulations to Jim Dean and Teresa. We know you guys will do a fabulous job.
Thank you,
for a
Esther.
change.
Once I learn how to use the timer, we'll be fine, but for tonight, you get a pass.
I will get you a raise.
Okay, Mike Mandel?
Sure, we got one.
And I'm sorry, even though we all know, you, could you state your name and your,
I
for the
definitely
record,
will.
please?
I usually do. Good evening Supervisor Kenny and members of the town board. For the record, I am Michael Mandel, a resident of Pearl River. A review of the current tax bill shows that line 3, town building services, the tax levy rose from $1,007,447 to $1,925,347 for an increase of $917,900 or 91.1%. This, in my opinion, is not fair to taxpayers, especially those who are retired on fixed incomes. My taxes went up $286, and this line accounted for 22% of my increase. Can you explain why this increase was necessary? Secondly, while we wait to see if the proposed downtown Pearl River transit-oriented development is feasible, certain things can be done to upgrade the town's appearance. For example, the building on the north side of East Central Avenue, located between Railroad and North Main Street, has peeling paint, blackened, whatever mold it is on the side of the building, portions of cracked sidewalks around the location. Code enforcement should be looking at this and other locations in downtown Pearl River. Building owners, not the businesses, but the building owners should be issued warnings of violations. This might spur corrective action on their part. I know the Pearl River Parking Authority is financed by parking meters and fines from summonses. Further, these funds can only be used to improve the downtown. Has the town thought, if permitted by law, to establish a public-private trust using the surplus funds, which I know we always have in that fund, and with building owner contributions to improve the area, such as sidewalks or fronts or awnings or whatever? And finally, has the town given thought to contacting Representative Lowy's office to request funding to repair the outside of the South Main Street Post Office, which gives the town the look of an area, poverty area in some rundown town, to those who pass by on foot, car, and especially if you pass by on the train, it looks like the windows are going to fall out. So thank you very much for your time, and congratulations, Supervisor.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. Does anybody else want to speak that didn't sign up? Okay.
My name is Barbara Dello, and I'm from Blauvelt. I also wanted to say congratulations to our new supervisor. Differently than Esther, I do not know you well, but I certainly hope that you are the person Esther says you are, because then the town will be that much the better off. But aside from that, congratulations.
Thank you.
But the reason I got up here, that was supposed to be a joke. The reason I got up here is about the January 22nd day for the parks that you might have to, you mentioned about having to get information to the state about the parks?
Yeah.
And that certainly is one of the most important issues for the people of Blauvelt-Orangeburg. And the whole development of that property. And I wondered if there's any possibility, if that information you would get to the state at that point would at any point be binding, and if there's any possibility that the public could see the kind of the potential plans that might be given to the state. So that's the reason I'm speaking. Thank you.
Thank you. Eileen? Yeah, Eileen.
Good evening, members of the board, and congratulations to you, Teresa.
Thank you.
Happy for you. Anyway, I'm going to talk about the streetlights coming along Orangeburg Road between 303 and Dutch Hill Road. There are 9 of them that are out on the eastbound lane of Orangeburg Road. I spoke about it a few months, maybe a month or so ago, and I spoke to Skip, and he said he has nothing to do with those lights. So rather than kick the bucket down the road, I thought maybe somebody could look into, I'm sure those lights are fairly new. Perhaps they're like similar to the ones they have on the new Tappan Zee Bridge that are out also. But anyway, I'm just bringing that to people's attention because I thought, as I came along 303 to make the left onto Orangeburg Road, it's very dark at that corner, and I do have 20/20 vision. But I thought it was extremely dark. Maybe it's the night, I don't know. But anyway, more importantly, I guess, is the town code that you talked about in your speech last week, that you're hoping to review them and bring them up to, or revise them if they need to be revised. But I think that's great. I think it has to be done. How it's done, I don't know. Do you form committees of people that we represent from the town, or I don't know how you do it. It's a big job because of thick code, 2 thick code books. But anyway, whatever you do, I hope, keep in mind, every hamlet is different in some ways. We have the historic area, and whatever codes we do change will be to retain the character of Orangetown as a commercial-friendly, suburban home type of a community that we have all, I guess, enjoy that we do live here. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else want to speak? No? Okay. So we're going
Motion to
to...
close?
Motion to close. Do I have a second? All in favor?
I don't want
You
to
guys
talk
want to...
about it.
I'll just respond real quick. As far as the RPC, yeah, January 22nd is the date where we will have to take an action, the town board, so there will be a meeting if we have to take it. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time, but we would certainly involve, as much as we could, involve the public in it. We're very hopeful we're going to get an extension on that. All signs indicate that the state is willing to work with us on that. So that's kind of the worst-case scenario, that we have to designate 216 acres just so that everything doesn't become designated. So, but yeah, we will certainly let the public know as much notice as we can let them know. On the streetlights, Eileen, Allison over here, she's my new confidential assistant. She's been having fun with streetlights. She's only been there a week, and she's got more calls about streetlights. So I made a note. I know we're still kind of figuring out Orange and Rockland is responsible, some we're responsible for, so we're working on it.
That's a state road.
That's a state road, okay. So we're working on it. Anyway, as far as working on the town code, it is going to be a big job, but it's definitely second, right after starting the comprehensive plan, on my agenda. So anyway, anybody else have any comments, or?
Nope.
No? No? Okay. Okay, so let's move on to the voting. Okay, number 1, we grant permission to elected officials and department heads to attend the 2020 training school annual meeting and Association of Towns. Do I have a motion?
Move so moved.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You cannot vote for this one if you don't want, appointing me the delegate, but anyway. Resolve that Teresa
think Paul and
Kenny
I will
and
abstain.
Rosanna Spraga are delegate and alternate delegate at the Associated Towns. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion. Second.
Okay, Tom Divany, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Again, the software Mimecast for the software, for the email security. Do I have a first? Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Do I have a second? Tom Divany, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Appointing Mary Ferrara to the Secretarial Assistant Legal Provisional. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Dennis Troy, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
What's that? Yeah. Okay, so we have appoint Elizabeth Brancati, Deputy Town Attorney. I'm just going to say a couple words. Now, it's a good time. So I had the pleasure of meeting, actually, I met Elizabeth before, during the campaign I met her, in different capacities, and when her resume came in, I was very excited. She interviewed, I got the pleasure of interviewing her twice. She has the prestige of going to Brooklyn Law School, where my daughter just graduated, so right away I was impressed with her. She has great experience. She worked in the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, which is, she went to Brooklyn Law, but she worked in the Manhattan District Attorney's Office.
Yep.
Yeah. Which is, it's not an easy thing to get into the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. So I think we're very lucky to have her. I think she's going to do a great job. And so, if I'm allowed, I want to make the motion for this one.
And I'd like to second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Definitely.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Elizabeth, you want to stand up so everyone can, so the camera can see you? Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to move on to something a little bit more boring, the sewer registrations. So this is basically upon the town attorney and commissioner of DEME. There's a certificate of registration for sewer work. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Dennis Troy made a second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, resolved, this is Superintendent of Highways to approve the RFP for the sidewalk soil cutting. Do I have a motion? Dennis Troy, do I have a second?
Make a second.
Paul Valentine, all in favor?
Aye.
Rejecting the bid for the North Middletown Road pedestrian link project. Can I get a motion? Tom Divany, second.
No, second.
Dennis Troy, all in favor?
Aye.
Approve the Amendment B to the municipal snow and ice agreement. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion.
Okay, that's Paul Valentine. Get a second.
Second.
Tom Divany, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion to create 4 MEO positions in the Highway Department at a grade 14. Can I get a motion?
I'll make that.
Okay, Dennis Troy, Tom Divany, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Appoint Megan Gilliam, police officer probationer, to permanent effective January 15, 2020. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion.
Okay, Paul Valentine, get a second.
I'll second.
Dennis Troy, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, accept the bid for furnishing of police department uniforms. Can I get a motion? Is there like a, what, you guys rotate or something? That I need to know? Okay.
Trying to give
Dennis
you-
Troy, second.
trying to
All in
give you
favor?
exercise.
Aye.
Accept the resignation, retirement of Sergeant Kirk Vega, effective January 24th, 2020.
I'll move that.
Okay, that's Dennis Troy. A second?
Second.
Okay, Tom Divany, all in favor?
Aye.
Granting permission for a police officer to attend the negotiation seminar in Maryland from February 11th to the 12th. Can I get a motion?
I make a motion.
Paul Valentine, a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Accepting the bid on dry cleaning for police uniforms. Can I get a motion?
I'll make it.
Okay. Tom moved it,
And I'll second it.
and Paul Valentine seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Approve the license agreement with the town of Ramapo for use of the firing range. Can I get a motion?
Aye. Fine.
Dennis Troy, second.
Aye.
Paul Valentine, all in favor?
Aye.
Accept the user agreement and OM improvements at the soccer field is identified there. Can I get a motion?
I'll make that.
Dennis Troy, second.
Second.
Tom Divany, all in favor?
Aye.
Grant permission for Jane Slavin to attend the Stormwater Manager Training Series in Middletown. Can I get a motion?
Moved.
Okay, that's Tom Divany, moved. Second.
I'll second.
Dennis Troy, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Appoint you, Davies, the real property appraiser, provisional, effective January 6, 2020. Can I get a motion?
Moved.
Tom Divany, second.
I'll second. That's right.
Dennis Troy, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Did we have, so we do need to go into executive session. I don't think we'll be voting on anything out of it. So do we want to,
What we gotta go in six?
we have, it's on there, we put it right on, oh, did we put it right on there? Real property sale and personnel matter.
Okay.
We have some adjourning of memories. Does anybody want to add anything or speak of any of these individuals? We have Father John Dwyer, Our Lady of Sacred Heart Church in Tapan. He's a retired United States Colonel and Chaplain, Tapan Fire Department Chaplain since 1990. And we have Joyce Ann Woods, a resident of Pearl River. So we're going to go into executive session and come out. We are going to close, but we're not going to be voting on anything, so.
Father Dwyer was a longtime pastor of Lydia Sacred Heart, and was really a critical member of the community. He was involved in everything, particularly also in the Irish-American community, too. One of the people who was a good friend of his was Supervisor Paul Whalen, who stayed a friend of his through the years, but was also a good friend of Legislator Pat Maroney's. But he was just a very good man, and he's been ill the last couple of years. Joyce Woods, her son died in 9/11, which was a tragedy, one of the tragedies in our community. We were heavily hit at 9/11, but her son, the father was a fireman, and the son went into finances and ended up dying in the tower. Joyce Woods, a lovely person, so she's on for the adjournment, too.
Okay. So do I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second. Fourth.
One, two.
Aye.
Okay, aye, okay.